Hey guys, I am Miss O'Hearn and this is my oldest daughter Callie and my youngest daughter Riley, and they are going to help me today. We're going to show you how to use a light microscope properly, how to make a wet mount, and the parts of the microscope. So Riley is going to handle the camera, so she's going to go on out of the frame for me now. And then Callie is going to watch the lesson that I show her, and then she's going to show you how easy it is to also follow along and properly use the microscope. All right, so before we get started, let's talk about the microscope. There are some main parts to the microscope. Callie, the first thing you have is the base, which is down here on the bottom. Then you have the arm. And when you're holding a microscope, the proper way to hold it so that nothing falls and breaks because they're expensive is you put one hand under the base and you hold it with the arm. And that's the proper way to hold a microscope, okay? Of course, you have the extension cord that is plugged into the wall. That is very important. It is a light microscope. So unless there is a light, it doesn't work. So you got to make sure it's plugged in and you got to make sure it's turned on before you start using it. All right, so you have your light source down here at the bottom. It can be a mirror, it can be a lamp. Some old microscopes actually use like a candle. This is just a light bulb that's going to shine light up. Then you have your stage right here. Okay, that's this part, and the stage is what holds your specimen. It's going to support your specimen, and it also comes with stage clips. It may be hard to see on here, but they're these little clips that rotate out, and that's what holds your microscope slide in place. Underneath that, you have the diaphragm or the condenser, and that controls the amount of light that comes up through the specimen into your eye. So sometimes you need more light and less light, and we'll kind of talk about that as we work in class so that you can get used to when you need to adjust it one way or the other. Going up from there, you have your revolving nose piece. This thing actually turns right here. And the lenses that are attached here are called objective lenses. And the objective lenses each have a different magnification. You're always going to start with your scanning objective lens, which is a 4 times magnification. And that's going to be usually red, and it's going to be your smallest lens. And then they go up to 10 times, 40 times, and even 100 times if you have an oil immersion lens, which we do on some of our microscopes, so some of you will get to work with that as well. You go up from there and you have the body tube and the eyepiece, or the ocular lens, which is what you look through, right? Okay, so this also has a magnification. On most of our microscopes, the magnification of this eyepiece right here is 10 times. And the magnification of like the scanning objective lens is 4 times. So what you would actually do is you multiply the 2 magnifications together, and that's your total magnification. So Callie, if the eyepiece is 10 times and the objective lens is 4 times, then what's 40. The total? What is it? 40 times. Okay, so that's your total magnification. If I flipped it and I put it on the next highest objective lens, this is a 10 times objective lens with a 10 times eyepiece. What's the total? 100. And if I go to the highest power on this microscope, this is 40 times on the objective lens, 10 times on the eyepiece, so it's 400 times, okay? So that means that whenever you're looking through that combination of lenses, what you're seeing is 400 times greater than what you would see without the microscope. That's okay? Big. It's big, all right? So you put this down on the scanning objective lens. Other than that, you have 2 knobs on your microscope. Every microscope is a little different, so some of them are set up differently, but most of ours you have 2 knobs, a small knob and a large knob. The large knob is called the coarse adjustment knob, and what it does is it raises and lowers the stage. Okay, you'll see that? It goes up and it goes down. The purpose of the coarse adjustment knob is to bring your specimen into view, just so that you can see it, all right? The small knob is the fine adjustment knob, and the purpose of the fine adjustment knob is to bring it into focus so that it's clear. So the coarse adjustment knob makes it where you can see it. The fine adjustment knob makes it where it's clear, right? So that's your adjustments that you use. And then I think we have covered all of the main pieces of the microscope. So I'm going to quiz you. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, what's this?
Face.
What's this? What are these?
The ocular.
Objective lenses.
Yeah,
this is the
ocular lens.
Right. What's this part that spins right here?
The turning
revolving nose piece.
Yeah.
What are these?
The clips.
And what's this?
The stage.
Right. This.
Light. Or the light source.
Light source. And what's this right here? What does it do? The twisty
thing.
It
like controls whether you can see it.
Controls the amount of light going in. So it's the diaphragm or the condenser, depending on your microscope. All right. And then we have our 2 knobs, the fine adjustment, and what's this one called? The big one? What does it do?
It raises the stand.
It raises and lowers. That's the coarse adjustment
Yeah.
knob. So fine adjustment knob is the little one. Coarse adjustment knob is the big one. Okay. Now, what we're going to do now is I'm going to show y'all the steps to use a light microscope using a prepared slide. So this is going to be a slide that's already made for you. And today we're going to use this slide right here, which is going to have a species of paramecium on there. Little paramecium slide, okay? So I'm going to show you what you need to do to properly view this slide through the light microscope. And it's really easy, and the more you do it, the easier and the quicker and the better you get at it, all right? So the first thing you're gonna do, Callie, the first thing you're gonna do is what?
Turn it on.
Turn your microscope on. The light needs to come on, okay? So that's the first thing. So make sure it's plugged in and you turn it on. Then you're gonna take your slide, you're gonna put it on the stage, and then you're going to clip the slide into place so that it doesn't move around. Now, there will be times when it's perfectly okay not to use those stage clips, all right? But that is the purpose of them, is to fix it into place. So then the first thing that you do, you make sure that your scanning objective lens is in place, okay? And you make sure that your stage is all the way down. And that's where you start. So you're gonna actually look into the microscope. Callie, come around here. Look into the microscope, and you're going to bring the stage up using the coarse adjustment knob until you can see your specimen.
The light's here.
Go ahead and crank it up. And you have to bring it up further than you think you're going to. So a lot of times students will get really upset. I can't see anything, Mr. Horn, I can't see anything. Bring it up. Bring it up all the way if you have to, okay? Until you can see that there's something on the slide. All right, let me see. Perfect, wonderful, okay? Now, what Callie is gonna do is she's gonna stay on that scanning objective lens, and she's gonna use her fine adjustment knob to get the specimen into focus as clearly as she can. Not the big one, the little knob, right? As much detail as you can get.
My eyelashes are getting in the way.
Eyelashes do get in the way. That's a very good point. Eyelashes can get in the way. So you lovely ladies that have long eyelashes, or you boys that have eyelashes that are crazy long, they can sometimes cause an issue and you'll actually see the eyelashes. Also, always a very good idea to have your hair up. That's why Callie and I have our hair up today, because when you're bending over to look through the microscope, having your hair down around your face is just really aggravating. It just really messes with it. Excellent job. Okay, so it's a lot clearer now that she messed with that fine adjustment knob. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take it up to the next highest magnification on the objective lens. And so the way that you do that is you do not adjust the coarse adjustment knob. You don't move your stage up or down. You're only going to be working with the fine adjustment knob. So you're going to take the revolving nose piece and you're going to revolve it until the 10 times magnification objective lens is in place. Good. And then you're going to look through there, use the fine adjustment knob only, and clear up what you're seeing through the microscope. Okay, so that is how you use a light microscope. Now, just as important as doing that is putting the microscope back the way you need to when you're finished with it. So the way that you do that, Callie, is you're going to crank the stage all the way down. You want it at its lowest possible point. So you're going to use that coarse adjustment knob to turn it all the way down until it won't go any further. That's right. You're going to put your objective lens on the scanning objective, which is the shortest one, usually the 4 times lens. Right? You're going to turn off your light. You're going to remove your slide from the stage and put it back into the slide container. And then you're going to unplug and wrap your cord around your microscope, and you're going to cover it with one of these plastic covers to keep it dust free and keep the microscope in as good a condition as we can for as long as we can. Okay? That's how you use a light microscope. Okay, now we are going to learn how to make a wet mount, which is a microscope slide, where you use a cover slip, a drop of water, and whatever your specimen is to create a slide that you can view through the microscope. All right, Riley's going to get ready. You ready? Okay. So the first thing that you have to do is you're going to grab a clean microscope slide. Now, Riley, microscope slides are made of what?
Glass.
Glass. So what does that mean?
Be very careful.
Be very careful, because they can either break, or they can cut you, They can shatter, all that stuff, and we don't want that. So when you're handling a microscope slide, you want to handle by the edges, okay? You don't want to like put your fingers all over the slide because then you're going to see that when you're looking through the microscope, and that's no good, okay? So handle by the edges as much as you can. So the way that we make a wet mount is you have your clean blank slide, and then you're going to have a cover slip, which is a very thin square piece of glass, which is also very likely to break. So you have to be careful with it. It can cut you. I have been cut by a cover slip before, all right? So you have to be careful with them. You only need one per slide, and they usually come in a little container like this, all right? Then we're gonna use a pipette or a dropper and a little bit of water. And for today, we're gonna do a slide with an elodea, which is this kind of aquatic plant, a leaf of the elodea, all right? So the first thing that you're gonna do is we're going to take, and there's kind of two schools of thought on this, but I'm just going to show you the way that I think is easier. We're going to take one of the leaves off of the elodea plant. All right, so there's your little leaf. Okay. Now, Riley, you're going to take your dropper and you're going to put one drop of water in the middle of that slide. Just one drop right in the center. You don't need more than that. Maybe one more. That was a really small drop. Okay. Then you're going to put that little leaf right in that drop of water. You're going to let it touch it and it'll grab it and it'll take it on down. Like that. Okay. Now you're going to get your cover slip. All right. Now, when you use the cover slip, you're going to put it at a 45-degree angle and you're going to touch the edge of that water and then lay it down over your specimen, okay? So 45-degree angle, touch the edge of the water and lay it down over the specimen. There we go, okay? And when you do it at a 45-degree angle, it gets all of those air bubbles or most of them out. And so you have a nice, good specimen to view, all right? So let's take a picture of your slide so we can show them what it looks like. Riley is going to take her wet mount slide and she is going to use this microscope to find it on the scanning objective lens. So Riley, you put your microscope on the stage. Okay, we're going to turn the microscope on, make sure that light is shining through, line it up, and go ahead and use the stage clips to put your slide in place. Good, just like that. Okay, perfect. Now you're on the lowest objective lens, the stage is all the way down. You're going to have to get on your tippy toes and you're going to bring that stage up until you can see the specimen clearly. And you saw how she took her glasses off. So I usually take my glasses off when I'm looking through a microscope as well, just because glasses kind of keep you from getting as close as you need to the eyepiece. But if you can see clearly keeping your glasses on if you have them, that's totally fine. Go ahead and crank it up. You got to bring it all the way up. Can you see it? Let me see. Excellent. Okay. Excellent job. So you found it. Now you're going to use the fine adjustment knob, the little one, and you're going to get it where it's nice and crystal clear. Just get it as clear as you can. And Riley is going into 3rd grade. Okay, now
So if I can do it, you can do it.
That's right. And they have a science nerd as their mother, so there is that, advantage that they have. But if she can do it, you can do it. So don't get frustrated if it takes a little while. It takes lots of practice. I have looked through many a microscope for many an hour until I can find stuff quickly and effectively. So it just takes practice, just like anything. Got it? Excellent. Nice and clear. Okay, so we're done now. So how are we going to put the microscope away? What are our steps to do? Turn it off. What do you do with the stage? All the way down. You want it on the lowest objective lens, which it is already, so you're good with that. And then what do we do about the slide on there? Do we leave that on there for the next person? No, we don't. We take it off, right? And we're going to sit it off to the side. Okay. All right.
And we put the clips.
And then we would take our electric cord, wrap it, and put the dust cover on it. And then that's it. So you've learned how to use a light microscope, the parts of the microscope, and also how to make a wet mount. So now we just have to practice. So let's get ready.